Most welcome to yet another video in our series Just for Fun. And as I often happen to forget such things, please like the video. You can gladly comment, although sometimes I'm a little slow responding. I apologize for that. And share the video, all with the purpose of spreading knowledge about this, so far as I know, the only chess channel that is accessible for visually impaired players. And I hope that even you who are sighted can enjoy it somewhat also. So today I will go through a game from the Swedish Championship for Visually Impaired in the 23rd of March this year. And it was actually a game that I have thought of publishing for a long time, but I didn't analyze it properly until just before recording. And it was quite an interesting experience because I thought that I could demonstrate a good plan that everyone could use, a kind of pattern in a certain kinds of pawn structures. And it didn't seem that bad for me until I actually came to the point where I was especially proud of my play. But there I saw I overlooked a lot of things. And not overlooked, simply I didn't understand it. So then I first thought, is this something to show? But at the same time, if I didn't understand those subtleties, probably there are more players than me who can actually benefit from watching this game. So, I am playing black against Håkan Thomsson, who I don't know exactly I don't remember how high his rating was, maybe 1800, 1850, something. Yeah, 1800, let's say. And he kicked off with pawn to e4. Pawn to e4. Håkan is known to be quite happy guy when he attacks, so I expect that he will go for sharp positions and trying to overrun me before I can outplay him strategically or positionally. That is how our games used to continue. Although I have a significant plus over the years, Håkan has beaten me more than once. I don't remember how many times, but more than once. For the first time in my life, I played the Alekhine defense, knight to foxtrot 6. Knight to foxtrot 6. And why did I do that? Well, it was... I wanted to play something no one would expect, as I never played it before. And I liked to experiment a bit playing new openings. It was the last round of the championship. I had won the 4 previous rounds, and I think the situation was that I could even lose, but then it would be a tiebreak. So draw is enough, and maybe it is stupid to play something for the first time, but yeah, I was little. I didn't take it seriously enough, maybe. I think I have won the Swedish Championship for Visually Impaired about 20 times, although I have not always played it when I could have played. Could have been more times. So maybe that is a bit of nonchalance, arrogance, stupidity, call it what you want. When you are highest rated and you used to win the event, it can backfire. Okay, Håkan went on for pawn to e5. Pawn to e5. And I played knight to delta 5. knight to delta 5. White went on with pawn to delta 4, pawn to delta 4, and black played pawn to delta 6, pawn to delta 6. Yeah, everything so far is very common. And here we come at crossroads, I would say. Knight to foxtrot 3 is a quite popular move. Although I think black has pretty decent chances after, for example, delta takes echo 5. Knight takes echo 5. Is it pawn charlie 6 you used to play these days? I think so, but I'm not sure. Yeah, you could also play bishop to golf 4 after knight to foxtrot 3, although at least according to old theory that I studied many years ago, white used to get the plus there. Some very ambitious players, they go for the 4 pawns attack, playing charlie 4, knight bravo 6 and pawn to foxtrot 4 instead, here in our current position, which leads to pretty aggressive. It is an aggressive setup for white, although I actually let Leela and Stockfish play some games in the 4 pawns attack, and black hold his own pretty easily, to my surprise. So maybe Alekin is a bit underestimated. Yeah, there are other moves also for white here. Charlie 4, knight bravo 6, echo takes delta 6 is also a very common line, and there both Charlie takes delta 6 and echo takes delta 6 are perfectly playable for black. So instead, after this number 3 move, pawn to delta 6, Håkan went for uncommon move, bishop to charlie 4, bishop to charlie 4, and I played knight to bravo 6, knight to bravo 6, and white went bishop to bravo 3, bishop to bravo 3. Here I was already out of book, so to say. I had never studied this position. I expected that the common move for black here was delta takes echo 5, and then white doesn't want to play delta takes echo 5 and accept queen takes delta 1 with losing castling rights. Instead, white would probably play queen to hotel 5, an intermediate move, threatening on foxtrot 7, and then after echo 6, white can capture the pawn delta takes echo 5. With, yeah, maybe, yeah, I think the position is equal. At the same time, as I told in the beginning, and you maybe have noticed, that it happens pretty often that I play slightly worse move if I think that can be more difficult for my opponent to handle. So I instead pushed pawn to delta 5, pawn to delta 5. And my idea was that I now can develop my bishop to foxtrot 5 or golf 4, depending on circumstance, play echo 6. I would have kind of position like in the French defense, but with the light square bishop developed. And that should be advantageous for black, for sure, compared to many lines where this black struggles to activate this light square bishop. When I analyzed with Stockfish before recording this video, I learned that now, instead of having equal chances after delta takes echo 5, I now have clearly worse position according to Stockfish, which was surprising to me. But white should know what he would be doing. Knight echo 2 seemed to be the best move here, and black would probably play bishop to foxtrot 5, maybe knight golf 3, bishop golf 6, such moves, black would play Echo 6, and white can push on even with Hotel 4, or even at some time play Foxtrot 4 and try to play actively on the king side. It is an advantage of about 0.6 pawns for white, according to Stockfish. Not the end of the world, it's still a game and complex. That is what you're looking for if you want to try to score 100% in a tournament. But yeah, this white would have been a bit better. Instead, white played Queen to Echo 2. Queen to Echo 2. And here I started to suspect maybe Håkan, maybe he wants to play castling queenside and then go for a pawn storm. However, I have not so many moves to choose from, so I took one of them, Bishop Foxtrot 5, Bishop to Foxtrot 5, by far the most natural move. And white played Knight to Foxtrot 3. Knight to Foxtrot 3. Probably the idea is that now white doesn't expect Bishop to Golf 4, because that would come with a loss of time. If white had started with Knight Foxtrot 3 instead of Queen Echo 2, maybe I would have gone for Bishop to Golf 4. Here I played Pawn to Echo 6. Pawn to Echo 6. And white went Bishop to Golf 5. And this is actually a very bad move, I have learned. And I think I maybe understand why now. I didn't understand it completely during the game. Normally, there are different principles collide here. On the one hand, white has more space. White has a clear space advantage in the center and on the king side. Then you should not exchange pieces. And that is the negative with Bishop to Golf 5. On the other hand, the white's dark squared bishop is a bit blocked by its own pawns on Delta 4 and Echo 5. So that would be in favor of Bishop to Golf 5. According to Stockfish, white should have gone for Bishop to Echo 3 instead, and then often with the ideas of active play on the king side. The bishop on Echo 3 wouldn't be on a fantastic square, it wouldn't be a fantastic bishop, but nevertheless, black is still suffering from space, from too little space, and that is why it is more difficult for black to quickly drum up active counterplay. So, Bishop to Golf 5 is not the best move. I played Bishop to Echo 7, Bishop to Echo 7, and we exchanged pieces on bishops on Echo 7. Bishop takes Echo 7, and Queen takes Echo 7. Queen takes Echo 7. Now you can see that it is not, it feels like more pieces than one are exchanged. Suddenly it starts to pop up possibilities like pawn to Charlie 5, pawn to Alpha 5, activities on the queen side and in the center. That is what black is aiming at right now. And later on, I want now to start pressure Delta 4, and then at hopefully a correct moment, I want to push Foxtrot 6 so that I can destroy white's pawn center from both sides. That is my plan, and I was very proud of how I carried it through until I analyze the game. White played knight bravo to delta 2. Knight bravo to delta 2. Yeah, here that is an okay move. It's nothing wrong with it. So I played castles kingside, pawn castles kingside, and white now went for some kind of over-ambitious setup, maybe hoping too much that it would be possible to start a kingside attack. So he played knight to foxtrot 1, knight to foxtrot 1. And here I think it is a common mistake among many players. That's why it is common, isn't it? To do too much in the position. Especially I have noticed that attacking players, they often they won't play castles kingside here. They want to activate the knight on the kingside first, and of course they want to gain a tempo by playing knight to foxtrot 1 at once. If white castles kingside first, you have to move the rook and then play knight fox to give space for the knight to get into foxtrot 1. That is probably white's idea here. At the same time, it is not so clear that white has time for such maneuvering here. White will lag a bit in development, and that is more important actually. Black played pawn to Charlie 5, pawn to Charlie 5, and we see here that now it's suddenly so that I have activity. It didn't look much like this, let's say 4 moves ago or something, but now we have this French-like position when I have the bishop developed. Of course I felt pretty comfortable here also, because I have often played the Caro-Kann, and there you can get such positions also, but then you have lost the tempo by first pushing Charlie 6 and then Charlie 5. At the same time, okay, my knight has been placed on Bravo 6, which is not the common move. Normally it is already in such French or Caro-Kann positions. It normally in this situation is either on Golf 6 or on Delta 7, from where it can put pressure on Delta 4. So I'm not so much ahead in development, but my position is pretty easy to play also, and I am clearly having the initiative. Okay, white played pawn to Charlie 3, pawn to Charlie 3, and I went knight to Charlie 6, knight to Charlie 6, and white played knight to Echo 3, knight to Echo 3, which is a clear mistake, I must say. I wouldn't call it blunder, because it is not. The mistake is based on a misjudgment of the position, I must say, which my opponent shared with me. I also misunderstood the position. Here I would have got a winning advantage according to Stockfish had I played bishop to Echo 4, bishop to Echo 4. But it is not so easy to see it, I must say. The idea is, of course, to put pressure on Delta 4. Now I threaten to take on Foxtrot 3 and then play Charlie takes Delta 4, winning a pawn. If white goes for delta takes Charlie 5, black can also then increase the pressure on the pawn on Echo 5. Maybe the best move would be knight delta 7, both threatening to recapture on Charlie 5 and win a pawn, also take the pawn on Echo 5 and hope to win the Charlie 5 pawn a little bit later on. So white would be in deep trouble here, but I thought actually that it wasn't that terrible for white. White could maybe play rook delta 1 would be a possibility, for example, thereby protecting delta 4. But yeah, there are problems obviously for white. Rook delta 1, then I can maybe take on foxtrot 3 and play Charlie takes delta 4. We have also the possibility of queen bravo 4 check after some exchanges. So it is a difficult position for white, clearly. But I overlooked this, and instead of having 1.6 pawn up, I played 2 automatically, 2 arrogantly, bishop to golf 6, bishop to golf 6. And I was too much into my idea here that I should simply exchange on delta 4 soon and then push foxtrot 6. And I wasn't sharp enough. I should have played it far more serious. All right, white castled kingside, castles kingside, and I went Charlie takes delta 4, Charlie takes delta 4, and white played Charlie takes delta 4 as well, Charlie takes delta 4. And let's see here. Yeah, here I overlooked another very good possibility. Based on the same concept, one can say, as with bishop echo 4. Black could here have played bishop to hotel 5 with a very good game. The idea is similar to the bishop echo 4, pressurizing the delta 4 pawn. And Stockfish actually thinks that it is best for white to play pawn to golf 4 in reply to bishop golf 6 and to bishop to hotel 5. And then when black retreats bishop golf 6, white's weakened kingside makes the push that I anyway wanted to carry through foxtrot 6 even stronger, because white has so many weaknesses on the king side. Yeah, I think it is very much worth the time if you can take your time and analyze this position after bishop to hotel 5 and the position we discussed earlier, bishop to echo 4. These two opportunities that I overlooked. All right, instead I played pawn to foxtrot 6. Pawn to foxtrot 6. And here I was so proud of myself. I had done exactly what I planned. And all right, I am clearly better in the position. But, yeah, actually not. That I now will get a clearly better position depends on all help I will get from my opponent. But I will return the favors and overlooking the possibilities again. Here, white should have played echo takes foxtrot 6. And then black can recapture with the rook. And have promising attacking chances both on the king side and against the center with rook. Doubling the rook on the foxtrot file and playing rook foxtrot 4. Pressurizing also delta 4. Looks very promising, but Stockfish shows that white can sacrifice a bit of material, like playing knight to golf4 and then jump in on echo 5 with the golf knight pretty soon, and then give up a pawn but exchange on golf 6, weakening black's position a little bit. Black would still be slightly better, but very, very little. But it's also understandable that an attacking player like Håkan, he doesn't want to give me a lot of opportunities. It looks echo takes foxtrot 6, rook takes foxtrot 6, black. Yeah, if you don't really find the ideas, if you are not Stockfish, or at least far better than I am, then it's easy to overlook the counter action, the possibilities to counter action that Stockfish spots in a blink. So instead of echo take foxtrot 6, white played bishop to Charlie 2. Bishop to Charlie 2. And yeah, here I showed that I didn't understand the position at all. Again, I should have played, and that is very interesting actually. Foxtrot 5. Foxtrot 5 is the recommendation of Stockfish, and then black would be up almost a pawn. And why then? Then I have blocked my proud bishop on golf 6. But actually here I threatened to, for example, play bishop to hotel 5. Next move, continue pressuring against delta 4, and I can also then, after bishop to hotel 5, push foxtrot 4, and then the knight on echo 3 would have serious problems finding a good square. Therefore, after foxtrot 5, Stockfish wants to play bishop delta 3, but then I can play knight to bravo 4, exchanging off the bishop and also pushing foxtrot 4, so that my light square bishop again becomes an active piece. Bishop delta 3 idea move, that is with the idea of giving the knight on echo 3 a bit of space, dropping it back to Charlie 2 if necessary, and also in that way protecting delta 4. But I think I was into stereotyped thinking here. I overlooked 3 very good chances here in a few moves. This one, however, I think is the most difficult to understand. Not to understand, well, let it put it like this. It is more understandable that I overlooked f foxtrot 5, because it instinctively you won't like to... I have prepared active play against echo 5. I want to open the foxtrot 5. I want to have a good bishop. But now then foxtrot 5 closes, it makes it impossible to take on echo 5. The foxtrot file will be closed, and my bishop seems to be bad. But the concrete situation anyway favors foxtrot 5, because I have this threat bishop to hotel 5 now, and then pushing foxtrot 4 at the right moment. So it's not so easy, but I will actually take my time as well and go through this game far more than I did when preparing this video. I just hint on the different opportunities, and I think it is so much worth studying these positions because they can arise, as I told, both after the French defense and the Caro-Kann, and here we see them coming in an Alekhine defense game. All right, bishop to Charlie 2. Instead, I played bishop takes bishop. Bishop takes Charlie 2. And white played knight takes Charlie 2. Knight takes Charlie 2. And yeah, then white has protected delta 4 suddenly. So now, instead of being clearly better, the position is about equal. I still thought that I was more... I wasn't sure whether I was clearly better or just slightly better. But I think I overestimated my chances a bit here. I played Foxtrot takes Echo 5, Foxtrot takes Echo 5. And yeah, white took with the knight. Knight takes Echo 5. And I continue swapping pieces. Knight takes knight, knight takes Echo 5. Knight takes Echo 5. And white grabbed with the queen. No, sorry. If white, I didn't expect white to grab with the queen, because then black also has the possibility knight Charlie 4 if the white queen takes on Echo 5, with a double attack on the Bravo 2 pawn and the white queen. So white played delta takes Echo 5. Delta takes Echo 5. And I now wanted to combine activity on both wings here. So I played Rook to Foxtrot 4. Rook to Foxtrot 4. And this is actually not such a bad move. But it just gave me a slight advantage. The idea is to block white's Foxtrot pawn, so that white will have more problems protecting the Echo 5 pawn. So I simply want to, very primitively put a piece in front of the Foxtrot 2 pawn. And I also threaten Rook to Echo 4 here, which is a bit annoying for white. So white played pawn to Foxtrot 3, pawn to Foxtrot 3, protecting against this Rook to Echo 4 threat. But now, there seems to be some weaknesses in white's position here. The king's position has become weakened, and themes on the Charlie 5 are looming up, like with Queen to Charlie 5 check, if I can also establish pressure on the Charlie 5, I might win the knight on Charlie 2. This is a bit wishful thinking, but white has to be careful. I played Rook to Charlie 8, Rook to Charlie 8. Natural developing move. I could also have gone for Rook Charlie to Foxtrot 8, and maybe even continued with play on the king's side. Maybe later on even tapping the king to Hotel 8 and play Golf 5. We have such opportunities also. But I liked Rook Charlie 8 because I wanted to swing the Foxtrot Rook at the right moment over to Charlie 4, so I would double and maybe with the help of Queen Charlie 5 also triple on the open file here. So of course it is a nice idea to occupy the only open file in the position. White played a very bad move here, unfortunately for him. Rook Alpha Charlie 1. Rook Alpha to Charlie 1. And here, I think that white now gets in, allows black to actually pile up on the Charlie file, and the rook the knight on Charlie 1 on Charlie 2 will be pinned because of the rook on Charlie 1. A better move would have been, let's say, pawn to Bravo 3, getting rid of black's possibility of playing rook Charlie 4. Then I might have switched to this aforementioned possibility and played rook Charlie to Foxtrot 8, and then continue with maybe pressurizing on the king side instead. But now I played Queen to Charlie 5 check. Queen to Charlie 5. And this is also a mistake. It is not the best game I have played, but I enjoyed analyzing it because I think I could improve a little bit as chess player. The best move and the winning move would have been rook Foxtrot to Charlie 4. And then I would have had the idea of Queen to Charlie 5. And there is not much White can do about it, actually. We will get into the same kind of position that we actually get into the game. Yeah. So rook Foxtrot to Charlie 4 would have been clearly better. Then I am up almost 4 pawns, according to Stockfish. After Queen to Charlie 5, I thought it was not good for White to play Knight to Echo 3, because I thought I could take 2 rooks for a queen by Queen takes Charlie 1, Rook takes Charlie 1, Rook takes Charlie 1, check, King Foxtrot 2. But having analyzed the position with Stockfish, I have understood that this endgame is only equal, because it takes a bit too much time for black to coordinate the pieces. So with active play from White's side, White's queen can penetrate in time to attack the black king, and then by threatening on, coming in with the queen on, let's say, Delta 8 or Echo 8 and such things, starting to threaten White's pawns on Echo 6 and Bravo 7 and so on. So black has to stand and wait. It is difficult to do something because you have to protect your pawns. So this was also a misjudgment of the ending. Luckily for me, however, White probably did the same misevaluation, but in addition, he must have overlooked that pretty simple thing that happened now with tripling on the Charlie file. Had he understood these things, what was going to happen after the move in the game, then he would probably have gone for the queen against versus 2 rooks endgame anyway, because that must at least be far better than what happened in the game. So I was a bit lucky again, but also, I learned a bit about these positions. And remember, when I started talking about this, I told you that I thought now I had a position that I really understand, because I have played the French, I have played Caro-Kann, and now I got a similar position like you can get out of these positions. But obviously I still have a lot to learn. Well, White played Queen to Echo 3. Queen to Echo 3. And now, now it is also impossible even for me not to win the game. I played Rook to Charlie 4. Rook to Charlie 4. Threatening to win a piece, obviously. And White then played Queen takes Charlie 5. I also threatened to take on Echo 3, and then Rook will be hanging on Charlie 1. So White played Queen takes Charlie 5, and I recaptured with the Rook from Charlie 4. Rook Charlie 4 takes Charlie 5. And the knight is attacked. And there is only one way to defend it. Rook to Foxtrot 2, Rook to Foxtrot 2. And yeah, here one can maybe win in different ways. Even knight alpha 4 would be interesting here, and maybe continued jumping after Bravo 3, for example. Knight to Charlie 3 or knight to Bravo 2 might also win. But yeah, why think of it? There is a very straightforward way to win the material. I played pawn to Delta 4. Pawn to Delta 4. Threatening pawn to Delta 3, of course. White played Rook Delta 2. Rook to Delta 2. And I anyway played pawn to Delta 3. Pawn to Delta 3. White captured, Rook takes Delta 3. Rook takes Delta 3. But after my move, Rook takes Charlie 2. Rook takes Charlie 2. White resigned. So it became a pretty short game, 26 moves. Yeah, it was, so to say, absolutely not such a game that you just want to brag about. Yeah, I wanted to brag about it maybe before analyzing it, because I thought I carried through some typical plans in a good way. But I overestimated my chances after Rook to Foxtrot 4. I was just slightly better. But the very interesting thing here is to remember to play more, to check more the concrete situation, especially when you are higher rated player. It's a risk to start playing on autopilot, and that was what I did. Bishop to Echo 4. I should have seen it. And also this idea with Bishop to Hotel 5 in some positions, I should have noticed these opportunities as well. What was more tricky, I think, was that when I overlooked pawn to Foxtrot 5 at a certain moment, because there I blocked my bishop and blocked the Foxtrot file that I wanted to keep open. But the concrete situation was that I threatened bishop to Hotel 5 and I threatened pushing pawn to Foxtrot 4, which again would have given the bishop on Golf 6 a good diagonal. And there I would have been clearly on top. Yeah, then I overlooked another easy win when White blundered, forgetting playing Bravo 3. Instead of starting with Queen to Charlie 5 check, believing that the two rooks against the Queen ending would be winning for me when it was just equal. So I gave too little time on when I played Queen to Charlie 5. I should have played Rook Foxtrot Charlie 4 instead, and then it would have been a clearly winning position. So a lot of mistakes, but especially the Bishop Echo 4 position, Bishop Hotel 5 later on, and Foxtrot 5. I think you can learn a lot about chess analyzing these three critical positions. I will surely do that, but so far I think I have at least hinted on things that are worth studying carefully if you want to improve as a chess player. And I hope that you could enjoy this video. Thank you for now.